Sportsline Podcast. We always appreciate you hanging out with us on CHCH.com and Parrot TV. I'm Bubba O'Neill. Our spotlight, the best in sports from Southern Ontario and in particular the Golden Horseshoe. Today, a heavy hitter from the Hammer whose career has lifted to international heights. Since turning professional in 2016, Canada's Ryan Rozicki has been taking on all comers and has risen from contender to championship level. His reputation requires no question. A cruiserweight with heavyweight hands and a knockout punch to be feared. Since his last bout in March, a major professional move to Zuffa Boxing has been made, and in June, Rozicki will headline the promotion's first bout in Britain. To chat about this unbelievable career opportunity is managing director of Three Lions Promotions, Daniel Otter, back on the Sportsline Podcast, and we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's wonderful, right? It's great to see Ryan getting the support that he deserves. He's on that big level, and just like you said, Sky Sports is blasting it out, and he's going to be a household name after this fight in the UK. Yeah. Hopefully it transitions over to this side of the pond.
Well, he's always done very well, but always on the eastern side of the country where he's actually from, and he's a Hamilton resident, but certainly there's no doubt that people know his name. You just come back. You're like days away from just coming back from England for promotion of the bout against Billum Smith on the 6th of June. Can you just kind of describe to us the sort of, I guess, the feel of what's going on, the atmosphere for this fight?
Yeah, like soon as we landed in England, it was right off the hop, right? Like it was really professionally done. He is the main event, so they really blasted him out. It was on prime time, Sky Sports, which is like, I don't know, it's all over Europe, right? Probably 100 million viewers, right? So it's massive. It was really set up real well. The cameras don't shun him, like he was very comfortable in front of them. He did well. He was still dialed in. I think he made a name just from the interviews that he did, right? They seen how serious he was and the aura you get. He sat beside you before, the fierce feeling you get from him, and when it transitioned live on TV like that, it was amazing to see. So it was a great time. Like you said, I just got back last night. Ryan continued on to Las Vegas to finish his training camp. But I'm a little bit jet lagged, but overall it was a great experience for Ryan to get some recognition like that. And we're just waiting for that June 6th bout. It's in Bournemouth, England. So get used to that traveling. He's getting used to that, jet lag, getting over that, and it was a good positive overall experience. Yeah.
So let's start with this, and I think what a lot of the public are getting used to right now is the name Zuffa Boxing. And Dana White's, obviously, we just saw some pictures with you, with the big man, Dana White, as well, too. His involvement, first of all, before we even talk about Dana, what is, or I guess maybe you have to join him in, what is Zuffa Boxing?
So Zuffa is basically, they're modeling it somewhat of like the UFC. So it's a new organization that they've used for boxing. Now, I know Dana White's been trying to get with Sky Sports for UFC for years upon years, so he kind of broke that barrier with this boxing setup he's got. So it's new. I think they opened around January. They were really interested in Ryan. We made an amazing agreement, and it puts Ryan on the big stage, right? Getting him in front of that's the main goal of when you're a promoter, is to get your boxer to the biggest level, put him on the biggest platform, and it's the biggest platform, right? It's massive. After the interviews, we're walking around downtown London. People are coming up, oh, you're that boxer from Canada. So it's like I said, it was on prime time, and he's getting well known, and he's a special individual. So I'm just really glad that we were able to get this and move it forward, and now all he's got to do is that work in the ring. Hardest part, but he's ready. He's ready to do what he's got to do and make a name for himself and become the best in the world at his weight class.
What is Dana, I mean, whatever time you shared with him or the people you've spoken to, the reasons why you've made the move to Zuffa Boxing, what is Dana White all about?
I think he's a businessman, right? He's, a top-end businessman. He's got a model, and it's working. It was working in the UFC, and I think that now he's bringing it over to boxing. He's going to do something special. He's getting more eyes on the sport, and I'm always about that, right? Even with someone like Jake Paul, people knock him, this and that. He gets more eyes on the sport, and that's what it's about. Getting as much eyes as you can see on that sport, on that division, especially on the boxer Ryan Rozicki.
With Ryan getting this reputation, because a lot of his bouts, if not all of his bouts, have been in this country, in Canada. Moving him into this sort of international look, and tell me why you think he will work internationally.
I just think he's got the look, right? He's, kind of tattooed all over, kind of like the great white hype, right? Like there's not, there's lots of Mexicans, lots of blacks, lots of whites. There's a big mix, but there's not a standout guy like him. He emulates Jack Dempsey from the 1920s.
Yes.
So he brings that throwback feeling back. People kind of relate to that. Like they want to see, that, somewhat of like a violence to the ring. He brings that aura to him, and it's something good to see. I think he fit the bill with Zuffa the best, the way that he looks, the way that he fights, very fan-friendly. You're not going to go out there and be yawning with a match like him. You've seen one too, Bubba, in live. It's wild, right? So, just the energy he brings off, I think it's an amazing fit for him, yeah.
Interesting, too, when you speak to the man, as you've spent hours upon hours with him, and I remember even Kim coming to the Sportsline Podcast with yourself, there is a interesting side of him that seems to be so calm, so deliberate when you sit there and speak to him. But yet there is a switch, is there not, that he turns into what I think he likes to, and help me here, I think he believes he's a gladiator.
Yeah, like if you get really into him, he believes that he's a Viking, right? Like he comes from Viking blood, like so out there in that East Coast, it's a big thing there. So his background's Polish, and he's a big guy. All his family's big. They're all kind of like fighters and strong men, and so he just emulates that with them, and it's his presence that comes. I don't know if there's a switch there. I think it's just always on. He's like, basically, you could say he's ice cold, right? When you meet him, he's just so, right? Very truthful, very straight, no messing about. And it's a special quality. I'm glad that the world's going to get to see who he is. He's been building, and this was the best decision for him, the best decision for us to get him on that level with Dana White and Zuffa and just showcase him to the world.
So right now with Three Lions Promotions, you've done all of his fights. Where does your status with him? Because I believe that obviously Zuffa, he's a Zuffa boxer now. So how does that all work with you and Three Lions?
Yeah, so we made an agreement with Zuffa. So now he is a Zuffa fighter. He's got a multi-fight deal, and he'll only fight on Zuffa cards. It was the best platform to get him on. Not to say, one day he'll be back in Hamilton, one day he'll be back out East Coast, but for now it's a multi-fight deal, and he is a Zuffa fighter, and he will fight on their platform. They'll be the event promoter, and we're still with him. We're still supporting him. We're still part of his team, and we're doing collaborations to make it work, and just to make a great move for his career, and also for us as a promotional company to build with us and to get us out there and to network and make the correct connections to build our brand.
Great for everyone. He's going to fight a man by the name of Chris Billam-Smith, hometowner from England, from Bournemouth, I believe as well too. 21-2. Not a big knockout guy, but he is a former WBO and Commonwealth and English champion in the ring. A little bit about what you think about Chris Billam-Smith.
So it's funny enough, me and Ryan traveled to Bournemouth, where he's from, and we watched his fight against Lawrence Okoli. He won the WBO champion title. Me and Ryan sit ringside. The atmosphere and the aura in that venue is unbelievable. Like these Brits, right? My family comes from Sheffield, so I know all about it. They're passionate. They love the sport. It's going to be a large order. It's no easy fight. But I think Ryan thrives off this, right? He wants to be this underdog. Like you said, he's only fought in Canada, so it's a big step up for him, but he looks comfortable, right? Billam-Smith's a great boxer. Unbelievable. It's a tough fight. The best man could win, right? These 200-pound men, they can all punch. You get caught, you're going to sleep. So, I'm sure he's weary. They're both weary of each other, but these are the type of fights that Zuffa makes. They're going to make the hardest of the hard. There's no padding records and nothing, and that's what Ryan wants. That's what we want. We want, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So it's best of the best that night. Billam-Smith's a great fighter, and in the end, good luck to both of them. May the best man win, and just hopefully they both go safe to their families back, at the end of the night.
And no doubt, we always want that in boxing. We just showed visuals of him fighting Glanton, I guess, which was his last fight after losing the WBO cruiserweight title, which apparently was a very emotional win for him. Went the distance, and when I watched him win the title, which the fight you talked about there, and when the fight I watched him now, like there is a contrast of styles here, because it looks to me that Billum Smith will take a punch to deliver a punch, where Ryan, to me, wants to initiate the punch. Is that correct?
Yeah, like you've seen some of these Sky Sports interviews, and Ryan's definitely going to be the aggressor. But I think Billum Smith in his hometown, he's going to get sucked into that, right? As much as he's going to want to be on the back foot, he's going to want to use his angles, his jabs. It's going to make a tough night. Ryan's going to be on his chest. He's going to, and then fans, they want to see that fight. 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. You can only move so long, and then these fans want to see, hey, get exchange. So that's what we want. We want Billum Smith to come in and fight Ryan's fight, and I'm very confident that's what's going to happen. And it could be a quick night out there, right? And we could all just be saying, wow, like Ryan did the work, and these guys don't get paid by the hour, don't get paid by the round. They both want to get out there as quick as possible. Ryan, I just think, is a little bit more eager to finish it off early.
Well, let's see. Let's talk about. We've talked about Sky Sport and Zuffa and the promotion of this bout, and you kind of set it up real well there on what we could see in that June bout. But there was a recent square off between the two in England on Sky Sports from our friends there. So let's have a listen to this, and I'd love for you to kind of tell me what you think of this sort of tete-a-tete between the two men on TV. Laura, roll the tape.
I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think it can go like one of two ways. It's either he's going to move and he's going to listen to his coach and stay on the back foot, use his angles, use his jab, clinch whenever I get too close, or he's going to fight me.
Are you going to take the bait?
Take the bait of what?
He's telling you what he's going to do.
Well, he's saying that my coach is telling me to move and run, but...
That's what I'm saying. Are you going to take the bait?
Well, that's not the bait, because my coach isn't telling me that.
He will.
He won't. We gave him through the game plan already. We're not going to be like Peralta. We know what we've got to do.
Is that music to your ears?
Yeah, I just don't believe it. It's too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Like, I don't know, was that them in the ring already? Like, that was unbelievable, the tension that I felt there watching that, even for like the 10th time.
Yeah, it's so I was in that room right there, and you could cut the tension with the knife. It was like the epitome of a stare down per se, or a sit around. It was something special. I felt like walking out of there like Ryan. It was 1-0 Ryan, right? I'm not lying. I was like, give him a high five. Once everyone moved around, I'm like, you just won. There's 1-0 us. So it was something special. I think
there's no acting there.
No. That's him. His raw. And I thought the other guy was kind of caught off guard, right? He's just like, this guy, just his eyes are always, his lookers are right on him, 24/7, right? Like never drop. So he's got something in him. Ryan's a very smart guy. So there was like sort of mental warfare going on there, and if you were really there, you could feel it. And I think Billum Smith was kind of put off, like, whoa, what's going on here? But it's 1-0, 1-0 for us. I think Ryan did exactly what he had to do. I was over the moon, right? So there's no acting, there's no improv. That's him, and that's who he is, and it was special. It was really good.
The moderator there, who I think it was a boxer as well too.
Yeah.
I love the way he poked the bear there. You gonna take the bait?
Yeah. No, it's unbelievable. Like 6 times. Are you gonna take the bait? So that's Johnny Lawrence.
Okay.
And he is a 13-time cruiserweight champion.
Oh,
he's from Sheffield, from the town where my parents are from.
Okay.
So he's a very, very well-known boxer, and even him, like when they were starting it, he had to do about 3 or 4 takes just to put the segment in at the beginning, and he was like I'm sweating, like this Ryan guy is like a lot, right? So he's got something to him, right? You can feel it. It's not no act. That's just who he is, So
I love it. Now, if and of course we want to say if, because as you said, boxing, anything can happen. I know Ryan has said that. Look, anything can happen. You go in the ring, win or lose. Where's Ryan Rozicki's future? And I'm going to presume he will win this fight. Where can it go from here?
Like after this fight, when he wins, he will be a household name in the UK. Like, it is that big of a fight over there. It's massive. He'll be on the Lucasade or the Gatorade bottles. Like, he's going to make a massive name, and it will transition over to here. I believe that, the Canadian media will start supporting more and more, because once the Sky Sports gets involved and all these BBC and everyone starts, we have to, and I'm not saying the Canadian media didn't, but you go there and you open the back of the news, it's about this thick on boxing. You go to us, you maybe get lucky to have one small write-up of a local promoter doing a show. So I think that he can uplift the whole sport in Canada. Just having a guy like that to say, hey, you know what, we got the best of the best, and he comes from our country. We got to support him on a whole, and I think it's going to build the sport as a whole. We got a big show coming May 30th, aside from Ryan Rozicki, and it's building over there in Vancouver. We got a Vancouver boxer, and he's making a name for himself. So I think the sport as a whole will be lifted, and Ryan's the guy that can do it.
It's funny because you everything you're talking about, in fact, it's almost mirroring to me because it's England. Maybe this is why Lennox Lewis did what he did. I mean, Kitchener guy kind of thing, but really made a name for himself in Britain. It's kind of what he did.
Yeah, I just think that, our sport, I would think like, we're going like hockey, then we're going, baseball, basketball, and, you got curling on TSN, so curling, I feel, is, broadcasted better than boxing, where it's the total opposite in England. You go to England, it's soccer number 1, boxing number 2.
Yes.
So I think that, Lennox Lewis probably did that and fought under the GB banner to, propel himself, right, to get that, because it's all about the media covering you and getting you out there and getting that on that platform. Without that, there's not much you can do. You can be the best boxer in the world, but if no eye see you, no one's going to know, right? So I think, this is massive for Canadian boxing, and Ryan's the one to lead. So I can see at the end, 50 years down the road, Ryan is the one that created this surge in boxing again, and it is coming back, right? I feel it's coming back.
Absolutely.
I thought UFC, we kind of took a hit with that, and some changing in boxing had a few black eyes, but when you get a guy like this, raw, uncut guy, no filter, like it's just who he is, you see him, people relate to that. A lot of people can relate to him and just say, look, he's just an average guy, he's living in Hamilton, and he made this, and he's making himself, and then it gives them kids that motivation, like look at what, this is what a guy from Canada can do. Right. It's not only hockey that can get you, some guys get out of the slums, some guys get a scholarship, whatever the case may be. Boxing can be that outlet for many people too, and I think Ryan's the one to lead the way.
It's the reason why, and I'm going to talk about just the early part. I could maybe break his career up into like third, but at least the first third of the kid from Catskills, New York, right? Who came up there, just the heavy hitter, knocking out all bums, everything. It just and he made a huge name for himself. And I will say this, like, you're right. Boxing is it's pretty high on my list in terms of the sports that I love, and it has been for my whole life. But I will say this, there is nothing like, especially in the cruiser and heavyweight division, when you are maybe 5 minutes before a bout, and you've been there, you understand this. When two men are walking in the ring, and the crowd's going crazy, and there's that little stare off and the final instructions, and that ding, 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 the anticipation is incredible.
Yeah, like that the hair on my body always stands up right when you get in there, and it's a one-on-one sport. So I love team sports too, but it really focuses just on two gentlemen in the ring, giving it their all, and basically, basically it's a very dangerous sport. They can die. So it's, got that edge to it, like, okay, like I'm not just watching a sport, I'm watching these guys like trying to fight for their life. So it does give a little bit of violence to it, I would say, but it's a good violence, as in, they're there for the sport. It is for the sport, but they're obviously, going into attack and do headshots, body shots, trying to take these guys out. So, sometimes I say it's a beautiful violence, right? Because it is, sanctioned. It is, doctors are there. Everything's run correctly. There's medical plans in place. But, the sport's special. It's a special sport. It's special to see two guys give it their all in the ring. And then I love after, they're the first guys to shake each other's hands,
always.
Right? They got kids. They bring the kids in the ring. And there's a really good respect for that. Up until the fight, they're the worst enemies. You think they're going to kill each other. But always after, they're giving hugs and high fives. So that's awesome. And when you see the sportsmanship at the end, that means the world to me.
Look, what means a world to me is people like yourself here that are putting Hamilton on the map with 3 Lions. And as you talked about, big bout coming up in Vancouver. But I got to put you to the test here. There's a lot going on in that new TD Coliseum. Could there possibly be a card in Hamilton whether you're running it?
100%. So, like, we work with PJ Mercanti at the Hamilton Convention Center, and he is involved in that venue. And we've had many discussions. Me and him traveled to Saudi Arabia. I brought him to a boxing event out there, and he really fell in love with it. So we become, somewhat close as in a business relationship, and there's definitely been talks. That is definitely in the pipeline. It's just when and where. It's new. It's really booked up fast, and everyone's kind of everyone's supporting this venue. Like you said, the venue's beautiful inside. You were stating that you think it's better than the Scotiabank. So, it is definitely a possibility. It's definitely that something is going to happen in the future. When? I would like to say, within the next months, not years, not decades. It'll be very soon that we're putting a fight on in there. And I think the venue's going to be amazing, and I think the city will support. I think the media will get involved, and it'll be something special. And then hopefully we can run cards on there on a regular, not just one-off, Just keep it going, build this sport up, and let Ryan lead the way and say, look, this is what you can do, this is what you can be, put the work in, and you can get to that level.
All right, promoter, set it up. June 6th. Go ahead. The mic is yours.
June 6th, Bournemouth, England. Ryan Rozicki's taking on Chris Billum-Smith on the Zuffa 07 card. It's going to be an amazing fight. You can check it out on Sky Sports. They're the broadcaster. I'm sure Bubba will be pumping it out on his channels. You can go to 3 Lions Promotions, at 3 Lions Promotions on our socials. And it's a big deal. And you can follow Ryan Rozicki at Ryan Rozicki. He's got lots of followers. He's got lots of, good ads on there. And it's a great thing to support.
No doubt. Yeah, I think we can see a lot of that stuff on Paramount Plus here in North America. So, folks, again, get out there, support this guy. I don't know if there's a better or more exciting or more anticipated fight coming up in terms of a Canadian right now. And when did you talk about it? When you got knockout punches like Ryan Rozicki can deliver, well, you better not blink, because it could happen that quick, and he's that good at doing it as well too. Daniel, thanks for joining us here. Really looking forward to the bout. I'm sure you're looking forward to getting back to England for the big party, and let's hope it's a victory party.
Yeah, we'll be coming back here. I'll bring Ryan in the studio once he's champion, and we'll have a good sit down with him, and he'll let Hamilton know how it was over there and what he went against. But he's going to do well.
Look forward to it. Thanks for joining us, Barton.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that.
Hey, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And if you've just seen and heard, we love talking sports. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote her, folks. Sportsline Podcast, we want to hear from you. Please hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe button if you have something to say. We always appreciate your comments. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline Podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you soon.